take care of that now than trying to get water over there.
It's a little premature for what you're talking about.
Understood. Yep.
But that's to answer your question regarding whether there might be any way we could use more funds for this. Perhaps, but. we're still having
That's a
some
big-
demands.
The end is near.
All right, well, why don't we just keep going through and let's see what else we can get out, uncover here and then we'll figure it out.
I added, those of you who do maps, and I suspect that absolutely everyone at this table will see that if you add up contracted services as maintenance, it comes to a different number than on the pie charts. The reason for that is because in the last minute, I actually got a quote for doing fencing at St. Mary's, which is that 10,540. That's actually with a 10% inflation rate added in. And the number on the pie charts was materials only. It did not include labor. So that is the difference in those two numbers.
I guess back to your contract, sure.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Sorry.
The pie chart, it was, I did not realize initially that, things like getting the fencing done and getting somebody to hiring somebody for trees should actually be under contracted services. So quite frankly, that's all here. And I can absolutely give you what the numbers. Well, actually, the numbers are on the pie chart that says by type of work. Everything that says tree work would be contracted tree work. So that's, and that would then come out of the line item that says maintenance. It would go into the line item contracted services. We have added in, I'm requesting the addition of an IT line. We have been discussing, and it is the fervent hope of our town clerk that we get a new cemetery tracking system, as that is to say, software. And it would, we do not have an exact number. We have not settled on which system. There are several systems available. We are guessing that it would be something about $1,000. That would be for initially for a new laptop. It would be for the initial cost of whatever system we have. If we go forward with a cloud-based system, which we have not determined yet, that would be a little over $700 a year currently for its maintenance. If we go with a lives on our laptop, lives on town server, that number would obviously be a lower number on an annual basis. Equipment, you'll see I've lowered the amount we need for equipment. I think based on what's been spent the last few years, what I understand from Barry is what we need at the moment. I honestly think that slightly lower number is going to be all right for us.
Well, that's great. I have two things that are running around in my head real quick here.
Yep.
The first one would be, some of the things that you need done are one-time costs, is that correct?
Some of it,
Right?
Yes.
And some of it would be ongoing
that is correct.
increases that you're looking for. So I think we need to isolate those to begin with.
Okay.
Right? We could do that. Do you have
I
any
can tell
idea
you-
about that?
I have some.
Okay.
It's probably easier for me to address that if I look at the pie chart that says by type of work.
Yes.
So the item which says tree work wells, which is the $18,400 big chunk there. At the moment, that would be a one-time thing. That would take down. Am I any closer, by the way, to being able to show some images here, Monica? Yeah.
I want to look at, we believe that we believe that you are telling us the real truth there, you know, we can all go look if we need to.
You can.
We believe you, go ahead.
Website.
No, I put them there.
So,
I'm
Sorry.
looking at your site, but I've been watching your site. But I don't see what anything's talking about this.
I'll tell you, it makes a stark difference if you actually are able to look with your own eyes, the shape and conditions these cemeteries are in. The last year or so that I was on the board, I really spent a lot of time at as many cemeteries as I know we have and going to them. I was working as diligently as I could with a resident behind the Sawyer Hill Cemetery to try to get something done there before the tree fell on all the gravestones. So, yeah, I understand we can't get it on there, but I mean, if anybody has time, drive through some of these cemeteries and look at the conditions of them. And when you see it with your own eyes, instead of just hearing it, it is a harsh reality that they are in a horrible condition.
yeah, I don't think that there's any question that
Right.
they are, there's work that needs to be done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that we're all aware of that, right? And that's not a question. I think what we need to do is we need to isolate what we can get done now, how we can get that done now, and what maybe we can do down the road.
I don't want to leave, I want to leave don't want to leave the IT before we leave IT. I've got another question.
Sure.
Can I
Go
make
ahead.
this now?
Yeah.
So, with the new system that we brought on board this year, the Civic Plus system, have you looked at that at all as far as, because they have many options about what you're talking about with software?
I don't believe we have looked at that one, but I'm not the one who's been looking at software.
Yeah, I just bring it up
Yeah.
so that you know that you have a resource there that you can query, that we're
Do
already
they
paying
have
for.
cemetery management?
They have
software?
many managerial type pieces of software. They may not call it cemetery, but it may be.
Does it
flexible enough for you
include
to-
mapping? Do you know?
What's it called?
All we have to do is ask. We have POC and we just want to bring them into
What's it
the
called?
query about inventory, whatever you're looking,
Could you repeat the name of it, please?
Civic Plus, Civic website.
Okay, hold on here. We please go through one thing at a time now. Let's get the one-time cost.
Okay.
Good, get that.
So,
Thank you.
going back to pie chart by type of work, just
Thank
to be sure we're all in the same place.
Yep.
That 18,400, which is the green slice there. I think we can think of that as being a one-time cost. That includes, taking down a maple tree near the shed, which is in quite bad condition and which will do a considerable amount of damage to the oldest part of the cemetery if it falls. It includes taking down 3 pine trees on the edge. It takes down 2 very small birch trees, which frankly is practically nothing in the cost. It takes down a dead trunk at the other end of the cemetery, which again is almost no cost comparatively speaking. It brings in hardpack to redo the roads. It brings in some loam where it is needed. That cemetery does not need as much loam as some of the others because that's actually in pretty decent shape. It does not include the cost of transporting the hardpack. That was strictly an estimate of the hardpack itself. Quite frankly, we are hoping that the town truck will be able to do that transporting for us. And that is basically what that number represents.
I'm trying to say the town truck time needs to be estimated by somebody to put in here. It's gotta be-
And I don't know how to do that. I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would argue- On the reimbursement side, we would be reimbursing just the driver, probably not the truck itself.
Okay.
So it would basically be time. And I don't know if you have
That's fine.
the ointment here, but.
Okay, actually, I should
When
say,
you look at these, who estimated the material quantities?
I did.
And how much you charge in a yard to buy the stuff and
hang on,
get it spread?
The hardback was, I believe, about $19 a yard,
Just-
and as of 2026, the loam is going to be close to $30 a yard.
loam was $30 a yard, hardtack was $19 a yard.
And,
Exactly.
The trucking itself, if you look at a truck or a 15-yard truck, some places sell a yard by ton. Both of them average about 14 yards.
Yeah.
Coming over to the Canaan area, you were looking at anywhere from $650 to $700, as of 2026 per truck coming over to Canaan. If someone in West Lebanon was to truck it over this way.
I understand that. I'm just saying like, cause it just seems like not a lot of volume when you look at the numbers. That's why I'm just
Well,
asking the question.
For Wells Cemetery, we were looking at 109 cubic yards potentially of loam. I think that might or could go down. We were looking at 103 cubic yards of hardtack.
You divide those by 15, some places.
I understand that. It's like 6 loads. I'm just saying that doesn't cover a lot of area. That's why I'm asking the question. Do you have it?
Right,
I
so
mean,
what,
that's only gonna cover, maybe 8,000 square feet or 10,000 square
right, so
feet.
what I ended up doing on those is because that cemetery is in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
I walked around and I looked at each and every each and every grade that had sink. And I turned around and I just took a volume of that. Generally, it's like 8 by 8 by a foot, something like that. You can pack it down, you go over it. That cemetery is in real decent condition when it comes to loam.
And that's fine. I'm saying it's not a lot of material. That's
No,
why I'm asking the
You're
question.
absolutely right. Where most of that material is, as far as in that cemetery, ends up going over to the hard pack to get the roads taken care of.
But Bill has I will point out, he does have a lot of experience in that area. So it's not like he's just.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying it's not a big area. And when I walked the cemeteries, was last year we did it. And it was like, I would have thought much higher numbers. Cause the roads on, the roadways on South Road, there's a lot.
Oh,
of
well,
material required
that's a
there.
different
That's,
conversation.
I understand that, but I'm saying, so when I'm looking at the numbers, I just want to make sure we're covering what we really need.
And what I did say that was misleading here, and I apologize, is that this pie chart that actually is only the tree work, and then you have to add in the additional loan and whatnot, and that brings you to 24,670, which is on the by cemetery.
I looked at the loan seating, all other cemeteries at $6,600. I'm going, that's not much.
Well,
And that's for the whole gang.
that was, what I did was before I realized that, before Cindy let me know that there really was all that pocketed money. We were looking at what was sort of, what could we get away with, sort of a minimum for loam and seating at the various cemeteries.
Mhm.
And that's what that 6,600 represents.
I understand.
Um,
I'm just saying it's not, for multiple cemeteries, that's a really low number.
It is, and there were places that we probably will not do a complete job on, frankly. Now, Atwell Jones, if any of you have tried to get up there, that's a road that needs some help. We are not including that in our proposal this year. We are really focusing on 5 cemeteries this year. These are 5 that for the most part are quite visible to the public,
Which 5 of
or
those?
they're active.
Which 5?
Wells Annex, Canaan Street, West Farms, Birch Corner, and West Canaan.
Could I jump to,
Wait, just one more, let's go back, because that was
A little
6.
bit of Sawyer Hill,
Birch Sawyer Hill, Birch Corner, yes?
yes,
Canyon Street, no?
hang on. If you look at the second pie chart by cemetery, it's got them listed.
He wants to know what 5 you said.
There's actually 6, and what she's saying is they're listed right here. These are the ones.
There's actually 8 on that page.
There are 8 there, we're not doing tree work on all of them.
Okay.
That's why there's a difference.
Okay.
We're very deliberately not trying to get the tree work and everything.
That's okay, just so we know which are the ones that you are doing tree work on.
That is on the other one. Wells Annex, Wells, Canaan Street, West Farms, Birch Point.
I see. Those 5.
Yes.
Wells, Canaan, West Farms, Birch Corner.
It's not even the page I held
You
up.
do know that there's
There's 6 there. This one's.
three down in Sawyer Hill, one that's lapping over on some of the
already.
Be gone?
That's under, no, it's not gone yet. The biggest problem has been coordinating with the crane company.
Okay,
But that has already been awarded, and they're just waiting for it to happen.
thank you, Chip. All right. And so back to the things that are one-time stuff, is the tree work all one time? All of the cemeteries? or-
No.
No.
No, Wells is the only one that will be one time.
And the others would all be
Another,
ongoing?
another few $1,000s for a couple of years.
Okay. All right, good.
Um,
And the others are all plus money each year, okay?
yep.
And loan seating and that kind of
Oh,
stuff?
if we're lucky, that'll be one time,
That might
but
be a one time.
I would not want to promise that to you.
Most of it would be. You can get most of it done?
Most of it.
Thank you very much, okay. Fence repair replacement?
That we're doing over multiple years.
Multiple years, okay. And erosion control?
We're going to, what we would want to do this year is start by doing a small area. I believe it was 75 by 40 feet.
75 by 40 in West Canaan, a small area, see how that goes. If that works well, then we'll look at doing the additional section on West Canaan, which is a much, much larger area. But 175 or 175 here.
All right, so that's gonna be multiple years, and interior road repairs, that's obviously a one-time thing, right?
Interior road? Yeah, well,
No,
The
I don't
majority of it
think
will
that you
be,
get heavy rainstorms. I mean, it could be an every year sort of maintenance. I think it's probably a heavy hit on the first time, but then it's
maintenance wise, it'll be a
yearly.
one, for getting it up to par, will be a one time, but thereafterwards, you ought to figure on having some money available for upkeep.
right, yeah, well, I'm trying to get a sense of what we need to put into this year's budget. And then we're gonna have some other future expenses, so I'm just trying to narrow down what's going in this year's budget. That's my main
the-
objective here.
we are looking,
Katie, you got something you wanna say?
I just think that we, as the budget committee, might be getting a little in the weeds. I think really we need to know
Thank you.
how much can we anticipate getting reimbursed from the trust funds and how much, what's our appetite to put in our budget? And then the difference, I mean, it's just,
I'll second
they're
that.
up to, that's their role is to determine what is done with what we
So
do.
Cindy, how much money can we get through?
Yeah.
Well, there's no question that the income in the Wells Cemetery can cover the expenses that have been proposed.
so that's 24,670.
Yes, well, and then you have, salary,
Which I can't estimate.
right, but those two, because there's such a large balance in related income. Legitimate maintenance benefits can be covered by the income in Wells. That can't be said for the other cemeteries.
I guess I have an additional question then. Do we have to know everything that they're planning to do? I thought in the past, the trustees of the trust funds met with the cemetery trustees at the end and said, this is how much we need to cover everything. And you would say, sorry, we've only got this, hopefully we budgeted for the rest, so.
What has historically happened is, at the end of the year, the town would present the trustee of trust fund with a breakdown of expenditures at the various cemeteries.
Okay.
And we would reimburse the town depending on how much income was available for those expenditures. With the exception of Wells Cemetery, it wasn't 100% reimbursed.
I remember that, yeah.
So this page we have that's multicolored, this spreadsheet, that's like $45,000 increase, rough numbers.
Yep.
Allowing a little bit extra in the 45 to cover the town labor.
Right.
So if we get the 45 and then we subtract the 24.
Yep.
That Cindy's sure of, how much is a good guess beyond the 24 that we could get from the cemetery trust fund at the end of the year? Like how much did they get this year? How much did they get the year
Yeah.
before?
In 2024, it was about, doing this up, $13,000.
So if we add 13 to the 24, it's up 37.
It's close to that 40.
Well, it depends on
43.
what expenses are pertain to each of the cemeteries in 2025.
Yeah, the traditional mowing.
The reimbursement will be a function of the work done in the cemetery.
So
The reality, I, where you're going, I think is the right way to look at it in the context of we got reimbursed up to 13,000. I don't know if we have that quite much available
10.
in these things now. Plus your 24,000 and you know you can get reimbursed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can put those two items on the revenue side as expected from the trust funds. And then we put the expense in, and then your question is, if you use 10,000, you're looking at like $17,000 of an increase over what's proposed in the budget, which has a 10,000 that was added already for tree removal, which we did early on in this process. So it's just a matter
We
of,
got about a 9,000.
you know, what does the budget committee feel above and beyond the 35,000?
Can I make,
So is your thought then to say that we're gonna increase our revenue projections to include the reimbursement?
Yes,
And then, so that.
because that's the way, because that's money, that is going to come from the trust funds, and we do have the ability to take that's revenue.
Right.
To offset the expense, so if we can offset $35,000 in revenue,
What's in the revenue side right now for reimbursement from the cemetery?
zero.
Zero, good, wonderful.
I should point out that over the winter, one of the main items that we will be discussing is raising the costs of being buried and raising the cost of buying a cemetery plot.
Okay.
Do I think it's gonna cover everything? No, I don't think that,
No,
but I do wanna let you know that we're gonna make that effort.
Cost of living and cost of dying.
And so I
That's
think
correct.
what we're trying to, I think what Chet is trying to indicate here is that right now on our revenue projection, that we got the other day, it was $0 as any reimbursement for anything.
Or minimal, I think I have to double check. With the most,
Marianne, are you on?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
here. We
Hi,
currently
can you
only
tell
get,
us what you have in your projections for the cemetery reimbursements?
usually around 12 or 13,000. It varies, but we do get reimbursed for the employees' labor at the different
that's-
cemeteries.
that doesn't include any of this, so we can't count any of that towards this.
No, I see it. So she's got already 13,000 on the revenue side, but what we're saying is that we're gonna get an additional 24, John?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, out of Wells, plus there might be some other smaller amounts laying around that we can get out of some of the other, is that right?
That is correct.
Right, so if we assume 25,000 in terms of reimbursement, right? In total over and above what we currently have, plus the other 13 that she's got, but the 25 additional, right, that would lower your cost really ultimately by 25,000, so.
It's roughly 20,000.
So we're looking at like $18,000 increase in the overall budget. After you apply, is that right? More or less?
I move-
Honestly, I'm gonna trust your numbers
I
on
move
that.
we increased the budget by 18,000.
Well, but
Well, no,
if you're
no.
counting, you might be counting 13 twice, that's my question. Because the 13 is not covering
Right.
these special projects.
I think he took the 13 out.
He did.
But then if you do that from the 52,000, subtract the 24 is 26 or 27.
Are we going?
Okay, and then, but you don't have anything else to subtract from that.
Right, I think
So
what
I think it's more like 27.
I think what we said was we're gonna be getting somewhere around an additional $25,000 on the revenue side that we're not counting on.
Well,
Correct.
because we're spending it, that's the only reason why, so we can't look at it as we're inflating it.
We're just offsetting the
Right,
expense.
no, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
when Carrie Ann does her projection, she's going to do a projection on the revenue side that says instead of 13,000, she's gonna say 38,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so that being said, right, we can now say that we're getting 25,000 more, so theoretically 25,000 more onto the 84, if you will, onto the budget. So that's 25, so that's 102 versus 84, so that's 17, 18.
Yeah, but see, I think you
16,
count,
18.
the way I'm reading it,
Yeah, go
they're
ahead.
counting that 13 twice.
So the 24
Because
is
the 13, let's assume we do none of these projects.
Yeah.
Okay, and the town has to charge for the maintenance of the cemetery.
Yes.
That's the 13,000.
Yeah.
That's the response. So when you go to special projects, you have to subtract the 24 from the 52, not from, you can't add the other 13 in.
But isn't there 13 in this sheet and the black numbers are in the first column?
Essentially.
At the top, yeah, but I'm talking about just on the project side. Well, I'm not looking at the budget. If you look at the pie chart.
So I'm looking at the budget. The budget, they want another $45,000.
Right.
Right.
So,
And we're only able to offset that by
24.
25.
See, here's the issue. If you look at the 52, if you want to look just at the projects.
Yeah.
You take $24,000 on, that's the additional project cost. $27,000 or whatever that number is. You're not, because the revenue is going to be offsetting that top number, but it's, if you're adding $52,000 in project, you still have a 27,000 net expense on the project side. Now, when you go over, if you're making other changes in the thing, you can offset some of that. But I'm saying, don't count the 13,000 for two different things.
Actually, I think the extra on maintenance is closer to 18,000. 18,000. Once I subtract the wells, because you had already allocated 10,000. So if I do 52 and subtract the 24, really closer to 25. That leaves me with 28. You've already allocated 10,000 in maintenance.
Correct. You're
So
using,
that would be about very, very roughly 18,000 additional in that line in reality.
yeah, but I was looking strictly at the project side. So
I was
it's
too.
additional $27,000 project. We already added 10 in. So I was saying, but I didn't want to use the 13 number multiple times. That's what I was concerned about.
You can subtract it off your original budget. You didn't count that in the original budget either. So you never counted the 13 to start with. See, so you're not counting it twice,
That's-
because that 13 goes against the regular, salaries and all of that.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Hang on a minute. This is getting way too long and we gotta, come to some,
I'm about to make a motion to table it, honestly, revisit it again. We got a bunch of stuff to do.
I'm,
We're close.
go ahead.
Can I not get back to what John had said and what we had tried to foster, using the sheet that we have with the red and the black numbers on them?
Sure, go ahead.
So it appears if you subtract the 84,869 from the 127, blah, 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 it's $43,000 difference.
Yep.
We say we're gonna use 24, we'll
Yes.
call it 25. To me, that subtracts from this 43, right? And then we said we had 13.
Now, the 13,
It's already used.
Okay, so we don't, so is that not, then we're only using the 25 off of that 43,
yes.
which gives us the 18.
Basically, we're gonna be inflating the budget by $18,000 if we accept this proposal.
I make a motion, we accept the proposal that the cemetery has given us. I believe the cemeteries need it, and I think they've done their due diligence. And these folks work awful hard behind the scenes. And I make a motion, we accept the 127,950.41.
Second that.
All right, any further discussion on that, Bob?
Are all these projects your wish list, or do all these projects have to be done this year? Can any of them be put off to next year?
They've been put off for a lot of years.
I didn't ask that question. And that's, so honestly, that's our budget problem in this town right now. Everything's been put off, and so we're gonna do everything this year, and we're gonna go broke. So what can we put off to next year? What do we have to do this
I
year?
would, they will tell me if I'm right or not. There is some of the tree work that could be put off, although the numbers that I gave you in the, by type did cut down on the tree work in every cemetery except Wells. And what I went for were the ones that were truly in danger of falling on something and doing damage.
But that those have to be done right away.
They should be done within 12 to 14 months, in all honesty. There's some that have piles of limbs down at the base of the tree. There's one that's looks wonderful from the front, and then you go around the side and you realize half the tree is missing. So I would say, yes, the ones that we have focused on really should be done within a 12-month roughly period. Some of this other stuff we could negotiate. Yes, I think that would be quite reasonable. I think we do need to try the erosion control at West Canaan to see if it works, because it is a significant problem there that does need to be addressed in some fashion, rather than simply throwing loads of loam at it and having it go down the hill
The
again.
stones are
If we don't-
literally rolling down them.
If we don't upgrade, for instance, wells with erosion control,
No,
with the,
West Cape.
excuse me, West Canaan, with the roads that are already failing and creating ravines going downhill, what that's gonna end up doing is it's gonna make it deeper and deeper and harder for us financially down the road. So that's why we're looking to especially backpedaling, because we have looked at all the cemeteries, it was a hundred and some odd thousand to fix them all. Well, we dropped it down to what, 52,000?
Yeah.
And that would hit the immediate one up front, in which we know a lot of townspeople from Facebook have indicated what's happening, we need something, and that's where the trustees are put in place to show. So we're trying to pick the cemeteries that are visible to people, to also get us behind us as well as you guys, I feel.
I get all that, and I'm in line with Dan on, we have to do what we have to do. All I want you to appreciate is every single person that's come before us has the exact same problem. Nothing got done, we have to do it all this year. Every single budget is going up this year. And those people on Facebook aren't gonna be happy
Well,
when they see the new tax law.
can I just
new
say
tax burden.
something?
Alright,
Can I just say something?
yeah, please.
Real quick, I don't care about the people on Facebook. They haven't really been out to the cemeteries and they haven't really looked at the condition of the cemeteries. They just, they saw the tree fall down and they started complaining about the stones, blah, blah, blah. The stones are in terrible, we're not even asking for help for fixing the stones. I do that on my own, at my own expense. The stuff that we're asking for this year is like emergency stuff that needs to be done to pretty much save these cemeteries, because they're gonna disintegrate, literally.
Okay.
This is just the first year. This is not a wish list. This is we need to do this now, or, I mean, and never mind what it looks like.
I thank you. So we have a motion, thank you, we have a motion. Okay, I would remind everyone that, we are gonna be reviewing all of these things again down the road. Okay, what I would ask is that, you guys give us, Cindy and the cemetery folks get together and say, here's what we're really gonna expect from the revenue side. Okay, and you guys take a real hard look at, what your real expenses are gonna be. Before we all vote on whether we're gonna approve the motion or not. But we will have another chance, just like all of the other folks that will come in here and ask, we are gonna go through all of these things again.
And I will say
John?
in future, it should be lower.
There's one item that's blank here, which is the health insurance. It was 5919.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was a typo on my part. That's all that was. But it does mean it didn't get counted in at the bottom. You are absolutely
So
correct, sir.
the water needs to go up by $6,000.
I apologize for that.
That was already in the budget.
Ash,
I
so I think what the number, what John is saying is it's gonna be now 132,000. But I think we'll accept all that as part of the budget. Is that correct, Dan, in your motion?
I would put a motion that we would accept 133,950.41.
Thank you, okay.
Okay.
So 133,941 is the budget.
950.
Whatever. Yeah, you got that,
Let's,
budget?
let's just do it.
Yes, I do.
That's not actually a number. Let's just get the number right if we're gonna do this.
I can get.
No, we did.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's 6,000. It's 5919. So we gotta put the number right.
Well, thank you.
So if you want to take,
Motion, though, that was your motion.
Let's just do that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Was that include
the increase in the premium?
if you
one
want to take,
thirty-three, 869.41?
but if you want to take Carrie Ann's latest number for healthcare for cemetery, 5667.
I think really we have a motion, so if we have to see if we have a second or no second. We had a
We had a
motion
second.
for the 133.
We had a second.
For that discussion. This is discussion on the motion now.
Okay, but then we're changing numbers all over the place, which. Okay.
Right? Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we have a motion we have a point of, information to change and add 5,000. What's the number?
Carrie Ann's number was 5616.
5616.
667.
Yeah, 567.
But I
So
believe we have
6.
to ask Dan if he wants to amend his original motion.
We'll get to that. But let's know what we're gonna amend it to.
But he's saying I'm not amending it, so just.
Hold on the way it is.
I would amend my motion to be $133,617.41.
Boom. Got another?
I'm with you.
That's good, second too. And then the second is okay? The second is okay, thank you. All right, so no more discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Please raise your hand so I get that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 6. All those opposed? 1. All those abstaining? 1. Okay, so the motion passes. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you very
Gave
much.
your time and effort.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Wear us down, work.
Check out Civic Plus.
I thought this was gonna be like 30 minutes.
Where the highlighted.
They are, John, they're older now than they were when they came.
I'm old. Okay, John Coffey, Water and Sewer. Hi, bud. Come on down.
Haven't seen you since Tuesday.
I know, yeah, really. Yeah, I'm up first, I'm sorry.
What page are we on?
Oh, yeah, we'll find out.
I'm gonna, I know, I'm gonna sit right up you are.
There you have it.
Thank you.
Good presentation.
You want to tell us what page we should go to?
Water treatment. 24. Water 24, we start on 24. 24. Water here.
Well, he starts with water.
John, you got it.
Oh, I know,
Yeah, you start. All right, John, you want to take us through your budget, brother?
Okay, where do you wanna start?
I want to start on page 24,
24, I don't know.
Water Department.
She didn't, hang on, let me get your.
You got another copy right here.
Right there, I got it.
You got one?
I have what Carrie Ann sent me.
There you go.
Yeah. Bear with me.
Sure. No rush.
John, did you get the one today? She's updated, it's on the.
Is it 20th?
Bottom corner is the left, 1120.
Even open to the right page.
I got the right one, yeah, I did grab it, thank you. Bear with me.
Just an FYI for everybody, it's part of this budget you received today. Now includes the revisions to healthcare that we got a quote, and because we changed, we actually, when we got when we had to get the new healthcare last summer, and we had a pretty good increase. Well, we asked them when we originally did it, can we change it to 6 months so that it becomes on the budget year? So we actually renegotiated with it, bundled some coverages, even were able to add a couple of coverages and it cost almost nothing, and save $50,000. And those allocations have been spread out through this budget. So all of the healthcare numbers are down a little bit. And we have all of next year covered. We don't have a jump in the middle that we have to guess at. Yeah, Carrie Ann did a great job with that.
Thank you, Carrie Ann.
Where do you wanna start?
Water,
Well,
11, 4331-10-110. Water Department.
I got you.
Good. Salary at the top, John?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
What do you think we need to hear?
These are the numbers that we submitted to Carrie Ann. And we allocated, I think we met twice with her.
Yeah, we did it in July. We
Yeah,
went
we
through
did it
the
in
budget
July.
line by line.
I mean, I'm comfortable with anything that you guys see in increases. I don't see that much there.
Well, the net on that particular section, section 11,
Mhm.
there's a net decrease of $2,200 for the year.
Yeah, so I mean,
You don't need the
That's
overtime?
because of the healthcare.
I don't
Pretty much.
know what overtime is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does Mason know what overtime is?
yeah, oh, he does, but he doesn't get much. That's the thing.
Well, we got 0 plans at the moment.
Yeah,
So how much would you like?
right now, I mean, we've been lucky.
$2,200, because that's what we make it.
Yeah, we carry some of it over. So,
So how many hours, over 40 hours a week, do you suppose you personally work?
a lot, but I'm not gonna sit here and,
How many hours does the other gentleman work over?
very little. And what it is we're gonna try to, this spring, to work him into the weekend. So right now I cover the weekends. We have to do it 365 days a year. We have to do it on every holiday. We have to do it
It's part of our plan, that what we have. I mean, we're not working 4-day weeks. And, you know, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Well, and this is a licensing issue because John has all of the licenses right now. Mason can't work by himself yet. He's gotten one of them.
Yeah, he's got one of them. Yeah, he's
And
got
then
the water.
once we has the other one passed,
In
then they can
December, he
start
gets the other one.
we can start to spread this so that there'll be a more normal time. But this is actually just a regulatory issue.
And, well, it saves, right now, it saves the town money. I mean, that's
Yes.
the important part. I mean,
Which one of these salaries is yours?
on the top, well, they put the numbers, but that's not what I earn. Yeah, I mean, I get a kick out of it.
Yeah, so this is your number, your salary number for 2026.
Yeah, exactly.
$63,046.81,
Yeah.
and that's for the whole department?
That's for the department.
But just remember, that's the water side, not the sewer. They're allocated.
There's 100.
They are allocated.
120.
Yeah. That's an allocation to
Yeah.
this department.
Good call, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So that the total number, I never get close to. I mean, you know that. We've worked with it before.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's a lot of items that I don't use. I mean, it's, you know, it goes from year to year. It depends on how many leaks we have, you know, outside of our regular working areas. I mean, this year's been a lot more, and there's been a lot more going on in a regular year. So just to give you an idea.
But your overtime in 23 is $4,000.
But don't forget that's charged against, the highway department charges against some of that too.
But in 2025, it was $1,200.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying you got 2,200
Mhm.
in the bank already?
Mhm.
So don't we need to stick a number in here for 2026 as your budget for overtime?
But we could probably put $2,500 if we'd like. We'd like to
Well,
add.
we'd like to put in the number you want.
Oh, it's I'd like to earn a lot of overtime, but it's not gonna happen.
I'd like to have the number in the other basic.
Let's put 2,500 in. Is that
Are
right?
we adding to, the department request or the TA request or the board of select
So-
request? Which number are we dealing
Well,
with?
certainly the budget committee made,
No, I understand, but are we operating off
I
of
mean, you have to
now?
ask.
Are we operating off of that number or not?
No.
Which,
Mason.
how much going into
I believe that the revisions that were made subsequent to this board getting it are in the town administrator's
that's what I
number.
thought, yeah.
So the town administrator numbers reflect the latest numbers, because we did not revise what the board of selectmen approved.
Or
Yeah,
the
we
department,
did.
or the
Right.
department request.
Departments.
So
So
we
we
did back in July, so.
correct.
Yeah, Dan?
Chet, what is the hourly rate that the other gentleman that works with John makes?
Mr. Tucker, Mason Tucker.
Mason Tucker.
We gotta say that name because that's our future.
I don't know what it is, because he got a raise when he got. the
He got a
one
raise, yeah, he got a raise and a half, I think it was.
Yes, so, and I
Yeah,
just,
but
it's in the 23, 24,
I'm gonna say, yes, 23 to 24.
it's in that neighborhood.
Know that number?
She can look it up.
So if we did $24 an hour and we're basing this just off the water. So to me, one thing that I don't agree with is saying, yeah, let's just use that number. There's gotta be some sort of a method to why we come up with these numbers. And I understand we haven't had any way of tracking it before, right? But we gotta start figuring out. So why don't we think about maybe trying to do it based off hourly rates and how much we project he might have in overtime each week or through the year. So if maybe he works 5 hours overtime a week only to do with the water stuff, so 24 times 5 is 120 times 52 weeks gives us 6240. So it's a far cry from the 2,500.
I think the point John's making and we're making, this is not our job to do that. He's trying to use the historical data and take a wag at it. If John believes he needs to
But I think that,
crunch those numbers, then that's up to the department to come to us and crunch those numbers. It's not up to the board to crunch the numbers.
No, it's definitely up to me to crunch numbers.
That's fine, but not here.
Yeah, but you can't.
That's
I
why-
can crunch them sitting right here if I want to, but I appreciate what you're saying, but I can crunch any number I want sitting here.
You certainly can.
Exactly,
But
and so
this
can you.
board-
And I won't tell you what you can and can't do, and I'll expect the
Very
same
good.
from you.
Thank
How's
you
that?
very much.
Right?
You did.
I
What do you
appreciate
need,
your
Bob?
opinion and I hope you appreciate mine.
I do appreciate yours very much, actually.
you
Can I do
crunch-
for you,
You
Bob?
crunch the numbers times 52.
Yeah.
Which means that he's gonna work on a leak every week. I don't think. I
Oh,
think
no, that's what I'm saying, is they're 5 hours a week.
But that's the variable, is we don't know when there's gonna be a leak, so that's why it's hard to put a hard number in there. And something is better than nothing, I think is the point.
Sure,
I think
but if you
Your
wanna do
your
that
number
with
is good.
everything, then we're not gonna know what we're spending our money on.
It's a budget item, it's not the expenditure.
well, John said he wanted to get Mason involved at the weekends. Does that mean that Mason's gonna continue to work 5 days a week and then work the weekends?
Yeah, that's where we're gonna try to
So
put them in, so the
you go
20,
to that scenario, you
Yeah.
won't be paying overtime.
exactly, so it would be 6 hours a weekend, and it would be every other weekend. So you figure
I
that.
don't know that we've had that discussion, that we're prepared to, I
Because
mean,
typically,
I just don't
you would do a
like this.
5-day week that would include the weekend,
we
not
have
overtime
less
for the
time
weekends
during the week,
typically. I
yeah.
mean, you might have a rate of a weekend rate, but the issue is when I will go back and look, because it's all about historical data. Okay, and what we don't have is a specific number of hours handy that we can look at. But the highest one we had for between water and wastewater was $4,700 in 23. And then another one was like $1,400. And my thing was, and where I was going with, use $2,500. It's a placeholder and we start tracking hours so we can get our budgets better. You still have to have something there. But I think going like the $4,000, but we had that in 23, that's too much. We only have like 600, I think, dollars between all of them this year. So it's somewhere in the middle. And you pick in the middle and then we gotta track a year or two to see what's going on. That would,
We have
that
two
would be-
sources of, overtime that these gentlemen deal with, there's water and there's also sewer. Is that
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sewer was the
And-
$4,700.
Right now, we have $0 also in, into it eventually, the overtime for, sewer.
Right.
Right, so if we're talking,
Water
if we're
department
talking
distribution.
overtime for these gentlemen, what we're discussing is they work either on sewer or water.
Right.
Yeah.
Either one, right? If we propose 2,500, for, water and 2,500 for sewer, that would be $5,000, is that correct? It's in overtime.
And it'd be really close to
And that would be close to you.
Yeah.
And
Eighty, say,
and as Chet was saying, it's not just that employee though, sometimes it's high.
understood.
Highway 92
Yeah.
now.
All right,
Yeah, but they're still in the road with.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think primarily we like to try to keep the overtime to emergencies.
Sure. and they have it.
So, yeah.
They have it. All right, so the thought is to put $2,500 into, overtime for water?
That's, 10-140.
Yes.
Yeah, that gets us close.
Any other items on, water distribution and treatment administration that we want to look at?
What is on-call pay?
We don't do any on-call pay.
What is the account?
Okay, they used to do it, I guess, with water, with the previous, people that were here.
But why does Carrie Ann have that account? Can we dump it?
Oh, you can probably dump it, you can take the line away.
That's up to Carrie Ann, John.
Yeah, that's what that.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
All right. So the only other item here that seems to have gone up is legal. Are we expecting more legal?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so can we accept,
And I won't even go there.
don't go there.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Can we
Don't go
accept
down
the
that
one
road.
twenty plus 2,000, so it'd be 122,000,
We'll be here till 10 o'clock tonight, if I
31.
need to go down that road.
right? For,
500, 31.
22,000. 122,000 if we add 2,500 plus 500,
Yeah.
500, yep.
122, 500.
122, 531 cents. We're all okay with that number?
Do we need a motion or we just moving on?
Yeah, do the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, and now on to water treatment, water services, water treatment. Let's finish water.
Is that unanimous, the vote?
Yes.
We increased the dues and subscriptions. Because now there's 2 of us versus 1,
Okay.
and then we increased the training. Going to go along with it.
And the hope is 2 years from now, all of this will be different because we have a whole new water system and different things. So hopefully this will take care of some of this.
So is dues and subscription and training?
And will they do the subscription for different organizations?
Yeah, where's training though? It has a different
And
line.
there's there is a training line item and that, yes, it should be in the water.
I don't see it.
It's not there.
Uh-huh.
There it is, training and seminars in the water one that you already approved.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah.
last one.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I know we asked for that as an increase.
Yeah, I
Because
see now.
This is the treatment plant portion, not the water operations.
Yep, I got you.
So we have water treatment. So water treatment, $84,750. Is that acceptable?
Well, just a nitpick again.
Sure.
Sorry about that, but got a line that's 412.
Yeah.
Which is water and sewer. We had $168 this year. We don't plan to spend anything next year.
You know what that line is, John?
which one are you looking at?
412.
412, I got you.
2412. That's 4.
What does it mean, water and sewer?
You got me on that one.
Carrie, you got any help?
You got, yeah, well, let me step back for a second. My, writing is, suspect. So well, I'm being honest. And what happens is they look at my numbers and I also use French numbers.
That's nice. Joe.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you that this is what happens. They get charged to the wrong count.
She knows.
Yeah. Mary Ann?
I don't know, are you coding water projects
I
there or
have no
anything?
idea. I didn't,
Did
I
you
don't remember using
Buy
that code.
bottled water and code it to that line? I don't know.
No, I don't buy bottled water, no.
It's used right out of the sewer.
Yeah, believe me.
Best.
Cause
Yeah.
it looks like probably a rogue invoice got coded there.
Exactly.
have
So
$0
somebody read my
budgeted.
writing wrong.
So let's not worry about it.
Yeah, zero makes
Does
sense.
that have any other history, Carrie Ann?
Oh, you can see it's zero all
This
the way
one
across.
across
I see it on
2024,
this paper, but
2024 and 2025.
so it's probably something we don't need.
Not in there now, so are we okay with $84,750 for this section?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, good. Water services is 0. What is that all about? Above that, just above that?
Top of
The
page 20.
meters, the top of the
25.
page.
Just right above water
Top of
treatment,
page
water
25.
services.
That's the water line installations and meter installations, and
Yeah.
those would be in and out expenses because that would be for a new service or things like that, so that won't be an issue.
Were those numbers reflecting one time?
Should we put in last year's number?
Well, I think what Shed is saying
If
is
we do, we're
that
gonna offset them in revenue.
do we have a revenue side for that? Carrie Ann, do we have a revenue side for, water services?
I have to check. Wait a second.
Yeah, okay, please check.
But if we had expenses last year, we should run in on something next year.
Yeah, looks like there's some sort of an expense associated each year.
Yeah, I don't mind putting it in expense, but if it's a reimbursable thing, then we should have a revenue side as well, is my point. I'm just trying to find out if we have a revenue side. Okay, Carrie Ann?
The only revenues we have right now are the water use fees and then the 30,000 that the fire department pays the water department.
So there's no
So
revenue.
we
So
don't
there's
have
no
anything
revenue.
else budgeted.
So if we want to make a change here, we would have to make a change to the revenue side to the exact number that we put in here.
Well, we need to just operate the way we operated this year. Somehow this year we had a budget and we had an expense. But whatever that thing is gonna happen next year.
I see your point, John.
Well, in my
Well, I'll
opinion,
take
it has,
That's good.
and it's really just it's a philosophical question because you're gonna have no net effect on the tax rate. So
That's
if
right.
you wanna pick a number like 1,500, you put 1,500 on the revenue side. If you don't use either one, they'll both be zeros. It doesn't matter.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
But
So
think to
you just
John's
pick
point-
that piece.
Right, to John's point, John would like to have a, number that says 1,500 and 500, correct?
Okay, we'll do that.
Right?
Yeah, or something closer to
Well,
that.
it's okay. 1,500 is fine, 500 is fine. I don't care.
Then we just do the matching revenue.
Yeah, 500, and then we just gotta add revenue. Carrie Ann, we just need to add revenue to match that, please, for water services.
Okay.
We're gonna add 1,500 for, meter installation and 500 for water line installation. Is that acceptable at the moment?
Yeah, we spent 3,500 last year.
Would you like to add 3,500 to that number, John? I don't care, it doesn't matter, we're gonna change it, we're gonna add it to the revenue side, so it's a moot point.
Well, this whole,
So that's what I
this
just.
whole water thing is a viewpoint.
Okay.
So, well, we are,
What do you wanna do?
we are starting to enforce
I'm
the
just asking you what you wanna do. I don't care.
we're trying to enforce the 1998 ordinance, which calls for $1,000 fee and $200 for the hookup. And if we do that, that's where the offset's gonna come from. So, you know, we can assume we're gonna put a couple of new services in this year and collect that money next year.
John, would you please give us numbers that you would like to see in those two columns?
Let's go with five, like you suggested, 500 and 1,500.
Fine.
We do there are monies associated with that, when we never tracked them before. Basically, when I'm putting in, I have to actually buy new meters and everything else that goes along with it. I have to stock them, keep them. I mean, some of the meters, have to be repaired and replaced. I try to keep them separate.
Mr. Bergeron, would you like to talk about that at all? Do you wanna do you have different numbers in mind?
I'm happy.
So we're gonna have 1,500 on the top line and 500 on the second line? Okay. Everybody am I with that? Okay, thank you very much. Ariane, don't forget to add that to the revenue side, please.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
So can I add something while I'm here?
No.
We're gonna have additional expenses as it comes with the meters. Because the meters are, and you didn't bring one in here. It's actually like a cellular phone. And it sends a signal out every day to the library, to basically the library and to the office.
So we're gonna have a cellular charge?
We have a cellular charge. It's $200 a month,
Okay, and it's not in the budget right now?
but it's gonna be added to the billing. We're gonna offset it by adding it to the
Yeah,
billing.
we should show in the budget.
But
Yeah,
it is.
but the thing
It is already in the budget. If you look at the 2025 budget, we have 1,500 and we now have 1,750 in the telephone line.
Well, it becomes $2,400.
Yeah, it becomes $2,400.
That's
But the thing is, it'll be
But they don't
charged
have
against the
matching
revenue
revenue.
side too, because we're gonna actually include it in the billing.
So
So
we
like
want-
We have to offset it with revenue, but it's $2,400 for the internet charge.
Yeah, for the internet. We haven't, right now, we basically only have 10 of them that we're being charged for. And then as we get into the up to 200, we're gonna get charged for all 200.
The code is telephone, but it's really internet.
That's the internet, exactly.
That's something that could be adjusted, Carrie Ann.
But is that on top of whatever we already have for telephone?
Yeah, it's gonna be on top. So it almost should go almost with the meters. It should be in the meter section.
It would be financially on top.
Yeah.
So the 1,750 should be raised by,
An additional 24.
Exactly, by 2,400. Yeah, that's probably something I wanna bring into your.
So it should reflect telephone and
Yeah,
internet.
so it'll come into effect in 26, so it's probably the third week in December, second or third week in December. So all be,
of 26?
of 25.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, that everything, 26, all this will come into effect. And that'll be taken into account when the customer's billed.
In addition to what the increase they just saw?
Yeah, it's only $250 a month. So that's the thing.
So the 1,750 should be 3,250.
Yep.
You tracking, Carrie Ann?
All right, so we want to go back and revisit 4335 water treatment.
Mhm.
All right, and you want to change the line 2341 from 1750 to what was your number, John?
3,250.
3250.
Okay. That's adding 1,500 to the total, is that correct?
Mhm.
All right. 50. Yeah, so the number now would be 1,500 would be 250, 86,250.
Track.
Is
Also, what you just, that's separate.
that right?
And again,
And Roger, so we're saying 4335 water treatment is now in the aggregate gross number $86,250. Thank you.
so I did want to point that out.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything else to do?
We go on,
No, that, well, no, I mean, but the
go
thing
back
is,
to sewer now, please.
yeah, okay.
I'm not sure that number's right. What's the number that we just ended up with?
86,250.
But I mean, the increase. So,
2,500.
3250.
so if we're adding 2,400 on top of the 1,750, it's 2,500. Not 3,250. Where am I wrong? Please tell me.
We added, at this end of the table, we added 1,500.
Yeah, but at this end of the table, he's saying that it's an additional 24 on top of the 1,750.
I know, we added 1,500, that's where the bad number came in. We didn't add 24, we added 15.
So what's the number? Are we going with 3,250 or 4,150?
I think 3,250, the way we've done it is okay. And Dan, and I'll tell you why, because the budget for 2025 was 1,500. Actually, I only spent 818, so the 1,750 was high to begin with.
Understood.
I think we'll be perfectly fine with the 3,250.
We also just added a second cell phone line. So that's why the telephone line increased in the first place.
Okay,
Understood.
good. All right, sewer collection and disposal, sewer funds, 03, page 23. Just back a page. And so the first thing we need to do is add $2,500 to the overtime.
Yeah.
And again, we're working off of the TA numbers. What else you got in there, John, of any interest?
Hang on, let's get through it.
Sure.
So we're adding 2,500 to the overtime?
Yes.
The uniforms, and I'm gonna go to Carrie Ann on this, have we made a decision on that yet?
No, we're just gonna proceed with budgeting, and then
Okay,
whenever you get
Well, then
to
we're
it,
gonna
we
leave
get
that-
to it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's why the only thing,
Right now, so everyone knows, we're not sure if we're gonna stay with the uniform service. We may just purchase clothes that are for the town versus that process. We're doing a comparison to see what works better.
the repair and maintenance, as we go forward. Right now, I have a pump station it's ticking and everything else. And I have 3 bids in to replace it, and I have to go out and find money for that, one of my other projects on the side. I talked to the DES, and right now they can fund it for 70%.
What's the new number?
We're about 267, that's where my average number is. So,
267,000.
yeah, but the thing is that, I wanna go for Northern Borders, since we're actually available now. Since we couldn't do it before, I see him laughing down there, it's not funny.
Oh, it was just ugliness.
So, I have a list here. I applied for it in 2019. I lost to the church. Grafton. So that $1.47 million that we came in second place for. They haven't even spent it, and since 2019, the last 6 years. So, and that was
Interest.
well, I'm not even going there. I get in trouble. I owe my mom.
Isn't the replacement of a piece of equipment like that CIP, not repair?
It'll be until we negotiate it. And then with DS or with Northern Borders, we'll find out what our net costs are.
But it won't be under repair.
It won't be under repair and maintenance. It'll be off of the
The
budget.
issue is going to become whether or not, depending when we do all the math, whether there has to be any financing for the match.
Yes.
And that will determine where it goes.
But right now, we're targeting 30% cost.
30% cost would be.
Yeah, but that's
That's like 80 grand.
Yeah, so that he guaranteed me that when we were in a meeting. But the thing is, I'd like to get 100% right off the bat. And we applied, and it's what I call low hanging fruit in terms of Northern Border, because it's only $250,000. They like the small stuff. That's what they consider small. So you see, but
So, yeah, and this is a critically important issue, and we just have to determine how we're gonna be able to pay for our portion if we have to at all.
Yeah, we have to.
At the very least.
So that, over the last, since 2017, we've applied for 11 different grant funds. We've won 6. We brought $3.2 million to the table, those different grant funds. And hopefully we'll add that another 250,000.
Better than baseball, buddy.
Oh, I know, that's not better. Well, it's being lucky. That's what, that includes, the pigs ear that we got from the feds, so that we still got to chase down the USDA.
But we would be probably correct in thinking we're gonna have $100,000.
Well, my thing is, from a planning perspective, we plan for the worst, hope for the best. We know.
Right.
We have the 70%, so you plan for the other. We have to come up with a.
Yeah, and then hopefully
We'll deal with
so
it.
that doesn't include engineering either.
So 80 or 100.
Right, yeah, and the thing is we don't have an option for this, so we can't like put it on the back burner until we get a grant. We have to plan on getting the work done and hope we get a grant.
Right, and we're past the 90-minute mark, so you and I are shut up from here.
Yeah, we still got JR. He's got over here.
Boy, I should have gone first.
Okay, yeah, we increased on that.
So did we just change a line somewhere?
No, where else at? Where else at?
I was trying.
Vehicle repair. Let's say it's been a higher number because I drive an older vehicle. So hopefully we're gonna get the truck as it was promised, but
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
that's the plan. The green one, yeah.
Nice.
400 word. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, repair and maintenance, see that, sewer collection and sewer treatment are 2 different items. Sewer collection is anything that's within the village. That's associated with the lift station and everything else. Sewer control, that's that portion of it, and then sewer treatment is up at the wastewater treatment plant. Give you an idea.
The moving parts.
Mhm.
All right, so for this section, 4326 sewage collection and disposal. We now have an addition of $2,500 to overtime. Which would bring the new
Yeah, I
department.
don't, we haven't had any additional overtime on the,
Well, we already discussed this.
yeah, we were gonna add it in. Yeah, that's
We'll do
fine.
it on both sides.
Yeah, we'll do it on both sides.
Okay,
Okay, you okay with that, everyone?
yeah, and that would take us to $140,610.44 plus the additional increases that go along with FICA, Medicare, retirements.
Another thing that we increased was the safety equipment. We need to upgrade to, I borrow the things from the fire department and they give me these.
Yeah.
The old stink eye.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
there.
well, I just want to let you know, so you're gonna see an increase there.
Yeah, we got it. In that capital improvements and, yeah, okay, we're good.
Okay.
So that's that's the new number plus the increases, the automatic increases for FICA, et cetera. You all okay with that?
Yep.
Thank you. Sewage collection and disposal, 4327.
Yep, gotcha.
What do we got there?
Okay, electricity would go up and down on, and it's depending on the rates. We had a big discussion about that. We're trying to save as much for one of the largest users in Canaan, I am, by the way. And, it's not for any good reason, but we have to look at offsetting that in some way, somehow. Right before COVID, we talked to several of the solar panel folks. And then we looked into it, but we weren't that far along at that point. And then COVID really put us on our heels. And, you know, we looked at offsetting all the cost of electricity in the whole town at that point. We have enough space out there. Yep, yep.
How are we doing with tracking, the revenue side of it for people who are using
The septic pits?
Yeah.
Did Carrie Ann gets the billing?
Well, I know how it works,
Yeah.
I'm saying, but they're in all hours of the,
They're in right now, they call, I get calls at 1 in the
Okay,
morning,
so
I
we're
can show
tracking.
you my phone. I'll have them call you next time up. No. You love it. Yeah. I know his number, I don't bother him.
Don, these are tanks that you pump private people's tanks?
Yeah, I'll give you an idea, we have what they call a hybrid system in towns. So basically, anybody that's on a sewer system has a septic tank in their front yard. And basically, I treat the post water that comes out of the septic tank.
Right.
And that's how, it's kind of unique. They're very big out in Oregon and Washington, and then Wyoming and out in the west. But not many are here. I think we're the only one in New Hampshire. And I mean, it's a great system because you're only treating water. The water that I get at the Depot Street basically is what most plants are putting into the river. Give you an idea. I've lowered the BOD levels probably by a third since I've gotten here. I mean, because what you try to do is keep the tanks as clean as possible. Let that stone layer work. It acts as a filter so that actually you get filtered water coming out. I mean, my solid level was, it's very tiny.
And you have a schedule in mind that you can go to 123.
Yeah, well, it's the restaurants, they're the ones, the restaurants of the school of the bad children, as we call them. They needed more maintenance. The homes don't, you don't need that all that maintenance. Mobile homes the least.
Right. Every couple of years kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else in this particular section that you want to comment?
Okay. I increased the inspection and treatment on my on the sewer treatment. We're getting in an area that the labs are starting to shrink. They're basically what it is that they're all combining off. So now they're going to start raising their rates, and that's going to be the hard thing that we have to deal with. Expense wise, I'm one of the largest. As you look for basically for testing and for the size of my system.
And does that have something to do with the design of this system being so?
Oh, no, it's just the way the state basically regulates. Okay. They look at regulations. Last week I was at a conference in Concord. They're gonna start regulating how we have to test up at the lake. And John's familiar with this. What, you gotta wake up over there, no, you're being quiet. Our costs are gonna increase on that end of it. And I don't have it included in here because I don't know what the costs are gonna be. And we won't know until next year. The state's gonna test this year, but in 2027, we're gonna have to test. And that's gonna take both manpower and equipment in order to do it. So
Unless you want to hire a contractor now, we have to do a comparison.
they contracted out, the city of Lebanon's gonna spend anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. And that's at Mascoma.
So the state's passing it off to each town.
And that, yeah, but it's one of these, they get money each year and they're gonna pass it off, and so supposedly they're gonna subsidize it, but I don't see the state subsidizing anything.
It doesn't work very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't plan on that.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I just wanna bring that forward, that both the lake and what we're doing is, it's gonna really come forward. Because before I leave here, I wanted to start looking at other sources of water in this area. We live in an area where we have a good aquifer here. I think we can tap into it, use it as an alternate water source. Like I talked about it even when it started. We can use both. We can use the lake and the alternate, and we can kind of shrink it down on the usage of each.
Any other questions, comments on this section? 327.
Yeah, the heating oil, we're not going to be using any heating oil anymore. We're going to be using propane at the wastewater plant. That's the only thing. And I think that the propane usage is considerably less, because I know that from the water plant. I mean, the water plant, I keep it at 53 degrees and I barely use any propane up there at all.
So the heating oil goes down to zero, but then we have to add in a line.
You have to add a line item. I mean, you could probably just change the line item from heating oil to propane. That'll cover us for this year. We'll have basically a baseline to look at when we actually have usage up there.
Carrie Ann, you got that?
Yeah, it's just a name change on the account,
Yeah.
not
yeah,
a
that's
dollar
all.
change.
That's correct.
And I mean, what it is the oil couldn't keep the facility warm enough up there.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's the problem. It's like it's a 40 by 40 building that I have, it's in the garage. And in the super cold weather, no matter how hard you heated it, it wouldn't keep it. You know, it's like a giant refrigerator up there. That's the thing. And it's not insulated. I mean, that's another thing. That whole area is not insulated.
Okay. All right, who wants to raise the elephant in the room questions? I'll do it. Building and repair.
Yeah, that's
We incurred 18,000 plus. We're not gonna, that's a one-time cost
That was the new heating system.
right, so it's just a one-time cost.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the
I'm trying to get-
contracted services at 19,299. The next page. And huge expense there. Is that also a one-time thing, or we're gonna continue to do that?
Book 19,
Next page,
Top of page 24, very top one and 24.
I don't even know where that came from.
Carrie Ann, would you please tell us where that came from?
Yeah.
Well, that was paying the other company to haul the sewage for weeks and weeks.
Oh, yes,
Oh, that's right.
yes, okay, I got, yeah,
When the
that's when
pump
the
station failed.
Depot Street came apart, yes.
That's a
Yes.
one-time, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the one time, hopefully, yes, one time. I apologize on that, yeah, thank you, Carrie, and
Well, it's just the thing that's the race between getting this other project done, getting it replaced, and when does it shit the bed, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Any other comments on this section?
no.
So then, that all being said, got a $30,500 total for this particular section. Is that acceptable? Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you, gentlemen.
JR.
Yeah, you're off the
You
bat.
still here? Wake up, Father.
When you talk about what goes back into the river, did you say you improved it by a third? Is that what you said?
That, you know, you can ask John Berger on this. So all these little channels that go to the river were originally a sewer treatment system up until 1989.
Oh, and when I moved to Enfield in 74, there was raw sewage going right into the river.
Yeah, I mean, that's, so that, the bad kids like Dan Collins. They used to, their punishment was to go through the pits and pick up all the garbage that were in the pits.
I shouldn't have opened a can for JR to put here all night.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. I just wanted to say turd.
I get no turns, that's it. Come on, you're right here.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, you're up the best.
I know the bigger guy, dude, come on, save the seat for you.
I got that warm for you.
I don't want it for.
When they were talking about Canes, the South Road Cemetery, there was no water, but they used the word floated twice.
Anybody
I
have
saw
any
that
idea where
too.
the transfer station?
It's page 17.
17?
Page 17. Go ahead, Mr. Reed. Thank you. Solid waste collection. Page 17.
On the TA again?
Yeah, you'll want to look at the
TA.
TA line, because that's where we made the adjustment for the salary rearrangement.
Okay. JR, you got anything you want to comment on this?
Actually, there's only two things I can't do nothing about on this thing.
Okay.
And that's the tipping fee and the price that I charge
That was-
refrigerators and tires and stuff. I'm right at the max right now. If we go higher, we're gonna be kicking upside the road for free. And costing us more money. And the hours. I'm salary, so I don't get nothing. Barry and Danny are the only ones that get by the hour. And Barry, right now, for the past 6 months, Barry's the only one I've been able to depend on for if I need help. So I'm in here 7 days a week. If I ain't on the phone, I'm picking up and cleaning up around the place. If I need help, Barry will help me.
Hey, JR, we can't talk about people.
What?
We can't talk about people or personnel issues. We talk about budget items.
Well, it's a budget item. I ain't talking about people.
Okay,
I'm
but
just telling
again, but the thing is, it doesn't matter who the person is, it's the budget covers whoever, like if you have a
Alright.
problem with somebody and they left, we have to
Take
deal
your
with that.
baseball bat. I don't know what.
I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest issue that we have is the rate changes that are going on in Lebanon. I mean, they're 15% a year right now, and they're gonna be for another couple of years. That's why you see the tipping fees going from 132 to 146.
I get, they're gonna be doing that for another.
They were saying it was a 5-year thing of 15% a year. And so, yeah, that's where, you know, the transfer station, other than that, is actually slightly down because of the rearrangement of the hours and stuff like that for the employees. But the tipping fees are just gonna be what they're gonna be.
But you did the 5-year start, was it,
Yes, this year we're in now is the first year.
15% for 5 years.
Yeah.
All right, so let's discuss salaries just for a moment, so I make sure I understand what's going on. We have one full-time salary and
2 part-time.
2 part-time salaries versus last year we had 2 full-times and 1 part-time. Is that correct?
Well, but they were still spread amongst a couple
Say,
of
but-
departments,
but-
yes. The answer is yes.
Solid waste.
Yeah.
Correct. Right, and we've already done the maintenance thing and the other guy, so that's why those numbers have changed. You know, dramatically. It's basically the same number.
Yes. Because it's in other departments. It's all,
Understood.
it's spread out.
Not anticipating any overtime.
Not at this time.
Right, health and all that other stuff is cast in concrete, you can't get away from that. Uniforms, no uniforms, we don't use uniforms over there. Everything else seems to be relatively in line. Vehicle repairs. We went from, 0 budget in 25 to expending an actual 3571, and now we're asking for 7,000. What's the-
JR, did you ask for 15,000?
What?
Did you ask for 15,000 on vehicle repair and MA line 10-431?
Yeah,
What was your? Why have a big differential there? Anybody want to speak to that?
Gary Ann, can you comment? Because I know we were shifting things around.
Yeah, this is the first year we're actually budgeting for vehicle repair in the department. And that was just us moving everything out of the mechanic line into the departments that incur the costs. So at first we thought the transfer station ratio was 15,000. And then Chet wanted to lower it to 7,000 and put the difference into the fire department maintenance vehicle repair line.
Because I think that the ratio was off based on the volume, like the total cost of the equipment and the number of pieces.
But JR will still get what he needs.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, the reality is, this is our first time we've separated them between departments.
okay.
And the goal is to have something in there and we'll see how we do. We just did a significant amount of repairs on the equipment in the transfer station.
Yeah.
So we're hoping this year's a little less.
And the CIP budget has some building repair.
Yeah.
Stuff going
Okay.
on there as well, so.
This saw the big difference.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The
So,
repairs will happen. We're estimating what it might cost.
yeah.
all right,
So
so,
I used to be last on the total vote. So I-
Where's the others now?
Where's the other?
You've been first this whole year. You've been getting all your trucks, everything
Right.
fixed.
Brian, you got something?
Where's the other
Yeah,
20
okay.
grand difference?
Whatever you say.
So we just accounted for 7, right, or for 8.
Where are you at?
So the difference between the department and or the select board, the TA,
Yeah, I think let's not pay much
27
attention to
grand
the-
difference.
Yeah, let's not pay much attention to those, because those are not updated by, the
Just so you know,
insurances and that kind of stuff that have all been.
That's what I was looking at.
updated.
19,000 in health insurance is down because of the new rates in the allocation. Plus, the fact that it's a part-time position doesn't have benefits
Right.
in this year.
Just generally looking at where the difference. comes.
Sure.
Yep.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's an employee difference.
Well, it is an employee difference. You've eliminated a full-time position.
Made it part-time.
So that's.
All right, so we're willing to, say, we'll accept the 175, 439, 86. So, any objections to that? No. Okay, and then solid waste disposal. Been right on down there.
There's no
Hauling
choice
services.
with tipping. Tipping, we're locked into, there's only one player.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Can't go to New York, huh?
Well, then we gotta buy a new truck.
Yeah,
Which is a little more expensive.
I would like that.
On the building.
Building repair?
Building repairs. I got a Mexican shingle on Barry's building right now, that keeps leaking.
We know that, and that's all in the capital budget.
Okay,
So when
Yeah,
you,
That's
that's all in the CIP.
That's the CIP, we moved that to the CIP.
all right.
And yes, it's
Two.
getting done.
Two projects being done there, right?
Yeah.
There's two buildings, yeah.
Well, when you decide to do it, you can take Barry's building down, you can take my old office down. That's as bad as Barry's place,
You want to put a tent up there or you're?
cause I spend all my time up top anyway,
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
It's almost somewhere else.
Okay.
I thought it was a little shack.
All right, so anything under solid waste disposal other than what's already there?
You got a Mexican shingle on Barry's building.
No, we accept the 222-461-16 as our number? Sure, go ahead. Take your time.
Recycle site improvement. Is that anything to look at? 2025 budget, nothing now, that's,
Because that's in the.
That's in the
That's in the CIP.
all right, I'm good then.
Anybody else have any issues with that number? No, good, we'll accept that number, thank you very much. Thank you, JR.
What?
Thank you.
We're good.
Thank you.
You're all set.
You're all set, you can go home now.
I mean, I can go back away and go to bed, right?
Yeah, okay.
You getting all your way.
You like.
Yeah.
Deb is not here, so we don't have a treasurer's report today, but. this is Christmas.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, there.
And she's under the, elected,
All right,
under the finance.
so she has nothing.
Yeah, she's basically all under the elected officials' pay scale.
Fine. Okay. Economic Development Committee, last year they had I'll report on that, I know something about it. They had a $3,500 budget. Thanks to Brian, ordered some banners for the town, gonna be going up, between him and Tom Opal and Myra, Tom's wife.
Yeah.
They've got it together. I think we have what are we spending, 29, almost $3,000? Right?
$3,000.
And we're getting, what are we getting? 4 banners, 5 of each?
20 banners, yeah, 5 of each.
Okay.
4 different banners. So
Right.
we're getting,
Okay, you wanna explain?
getting a welcome. These are ones Tom had done up, so I'm finishing what he did. So we get a welcome, we get a Christmas in Canaan, we get a, winter farmer's market, and we get the regular farmer's market.
These are showing up relatively shortly. We hope.
If we go with the current vendor, and that's what Carrie Ann and I have to talk about, figure out how to finalize this thing. And, I really appreciate you jumping in, Carrie Ann, because I know you're not here. So, yeah, if we go with the current vendor, we should have them around Thanksgiving, so we can then knock on the highway department's door, and they're clued in. If they're reading their email, they're clued in. If they're not reading their email, they're smarter than me. But, those guys know about getting them in that.
Over a year ago, they had agreed that they would help out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this first came up a few years ago.
I've talked to Bob Henry, so he's aware.
And Liberty has said it's fine.
Where is this on the sheet? But they're asking for, this year they're asking for the same number they had last year, $3,500. And the reason for that is there are other banners that are, there's some banners, the welcome banners to Canaan, they're permanent, they stay up year round. Periodically, there're gonna be changeovers to the other banners based on the events. And what are the other ones that we have in the queue?
We're gonna try to go with basically the calendar for the town. So when you have stuff like, there's a holiday craft sale in town, there's a townwide yard sale, there's Old Home Days, there's more of a parade. There might be the Bear Pond snowshoe thing, if that's
that's it.
kind of, those kinds of things. Anyway, and other things, perhaps if there's some other event that we're missing, such as Lions rises to that occasion, or if the police department rises to that occasion, the library rises to that occasion, then we can show that the town is doing stuff. Don't miss out. And it's just part of I'm trying to put a comp plan together for the town that would include this as well as very good stuff that's now available through the web support. So communications plan, and the banner thing will be something graphic when you come in. And the idea is to, since we're working with Liberty, I should have a point of contact tomorrow, but basically use the lighted poles that are there on 4 and or upon 118, as we move around to 118 and then see where else in the town might need it. Maybe Cannon Center, I was just down there today, there's some lights coming up the hill to incorporate that. Maybe that's where a welcome sign goes. Some of this remains to be seen exactly the placement. Main thing I'm doing is getting the banners, initial load of banners bought using the budget that we have and not exceeding the budget.
So the committee is asking for, the same $3,500 to put new banners, to add new banners next year, to be determined which ones.
And make this kind of a permanent thing for the town.
If you're putting them on Route 4,
Page 20.
the state has 20 sign rule.
Yeah, it's on 20.
Yeah, the state authority and they do the same.
I would make a motion to accept the request.
Second,
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstained? No. Okay, thank you very much. That's Economic Development Committee. Great. Other business. The only thing that, I have something on the other business that I would just wanna touch on real quick. We're gonna be, Carrie Ann on the 4th is gonna be adding a revenues revisited piece that will include all of the new revenue items that we've been discussing that are, some of them been approved already by the Board of Selectmen and other kind of things. So she's gonna be upgrading revenue. I thought it important that we understand the revenue before we go into attacking what we have in the operating budget. So we're gonna add that. That's all I have on that. Do we have any update on the communications education discussion? No. No.
Well, I will say that the one thing that we'll be able to build upon is the new tax bill that we are now sending out because we're using the outside service. It actually takes the whole Avatar file and it actually breaks down municipal tax, school tax, and the county tax. It's all broken down. You can see.
Yeah, but
where
it doesn't change
got a
the
bunch more information. Doesn't change the net, but when you talk about it changes.
Very pretty, but
It changes, yeah, well, the issue is it changes people's knowledge of where everything is. The one interesting piece that came out of that, if you hear anybody talk about this, is the tax bill is currently due on the 15th. We just had a water bill due, but they overlapped by 3 days. So it assumed that you weren't gonna pay your water bill till December 15th. So it would add the 1%. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
tells you, if you look at it, you look at the total due, it says on that date, if you didn't pay your water bill, this is what you would owe. But if you pay it now, you're not gonna get the 1% on the water bill if you paid it on time. It's just, it was a overlap in the dating.
That either came up at the select board meeting or came up at our meeting last time, that the bill had already factored in interest. I remember hearing that, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they're presuming to pay it after the date.
No, that's just where the water bill overlap with it, because Avatar tells you what is your total due to the town.
Yeah.
But the tax bill, if you hadn't paid July 1st, would have that interest on this bill.
Okay.
and the onsite, if you haven't done it already, I've looked at it, but the one you can pay online, it's tracking pretty well. I was looking at my stuff the other day and it's tracking with the bill, and I agree with the bill. The bill is part of the communications effort. The new way it's laid out is much more explanatory to a regular citizen who's doing this for the first time. They can actually see how much we're paying the town versus how much we're paying the other people that we pay.
Yeah, we talked about that early on, right? With a pie chart that shows
school,
Yeah.
no.
Well, at least on this one,
State school.
you can see the big bubble in the middle where the other.
Education is important.
But it's not a pie chart, so.
No, but that'll help with all our friends on Facebook that wanna. It's been all
All right, well, are we gonna do anything on that issue, by the way, or is that just the, is?
Well, I mean,
is- take it off?
we do need to, you know, because one of the things what I was gonna happen is there was gonna be a couple of people that were getting together and bringing a proposal. But I believe visuals and things that we can put in the newsletter, whether it's the pie chart, you know, there was concern about the pie chart, like, are we gonna offend the school? You know, and things like that, and that's really something that,
It's gonna be a hard sell for me to be honest.
that's okay. So these are conversations we need to have, and it's probably something that I probably need to go sit with the superintendent and have a conversation about a few things so we can make sure everybody's aware of what's coming. And not necessarily we're dictating, it's like, okay, we're trying to explain the bills because people don't seem to understand. But it is going to show the difference with the school portion.
Well, let's keep Amanda in the loop and I just as a quick aside and 10 seconds, mostly on Brian's effort. Again, we're starting a program, internships in the high school. We've already got one lined up that's gonna be doing.
Hopefully she's gonna be the intern for the newsletter and it's gonna be that person's newsletter for the town.
And we're gonna continue to work on other ones. We have some issues with insurance and things, can't have driving heavy equipment.
The next one might be, maybe, part of the communications plan might be someone who's going to. One of the places exists.
So we're gonna work on whatever, and Amanda's great, she's all on board. Toll is the gentleman.
I talked to him, so I'll probably be pushing his button about every 10 days.
Great. The, one other thing, and this is my mistake, Dan Collins on October 2nd, 20 police officer vote, that's not what he and I got our signals crossed, I didn't quite understand. He just wants to talk about, the conversation that we were having at the end of the last meeting, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
attached based off the October 2nd meeting,
thank you.
but it's not necessarily whether we agree to have it or not.
Sure, go ahead.
At the last meeting, my ask at the end of our 4-hour marathon meeting is that some of us or all of us just take a minute and review the October 2nd meeting so we can maybe be all on the same page. So I'm curious if anybody here other than me did. All right. So
I did.
with that said, I guess you'll have to take me for my word on it until you go home and look at it. I can play it right here. I've got it queued up. I don't know if I need to do that, but I'm happy to. My concern is that we took the ability for the people in Canaan to get out and vote. We took their ability to vote on something that's going to be a year-over-year tax increase away from them based off the worry that they may not be on board with a new police officer, so they not approve it. And what it says in our meeting, not verbatim, and I can play it. Is there a concern that the voters won't approve that if it gets put on the warrant? Or is there a risk of that? Brian says, yes, there's a risk. The response is, well, then maybe we should consider just voting it here on the budget instead of putting it out to warrant, because if we put it out to warrant, the voters may not approve it. So to me, that is saying we have a concern or we have an assumption that the voters may not approve this one particular thing. So to get around the voters not approving that, we're going to take their ability to vote on that away, and we're going to put it in their budget. Somebody explain to me how that's not what happened.
I think that's exactly what happened, and I'm okay with it.
You are.
I am. Me too. I think the issue is a certain security issue and a severity. If you want to talk about, well, should we have social zones on the green where you can drink outside. Well, that's something they should definitely decide on. Now,
That's not a tax increase year over year. This is something that's gonna be a tax increase for people
But-
every year going forward.
So buying a fire truck is a year over year leasing, 7-year, all that stuff.
And that's in the
definitely
capital
something-
improvement, right? So that doesn't need to go to warrant because it's in the
I
capital.
thought that was in the warrant articles last year.
That has to be a warrant.
To add to, in the warrant article.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
goes to the reserve fund. Every reserve fund has to be a warrant article. So if they have, they can say no, and the funding doesn't go in, we don't buy stuff.
But the thing about when the police chief tells you with the staff he has, he cannot safely protect the town, I think that's a bigger item than something that people might just say, oh, I don't wanna, my taxes went up too much, so I'm gonna vote no on everything and not even read it. As much as we think it's ignorant of them to vote yes on everything without reading it, they could just as easily vote no on it. That specific issue is probably the only issue we've talked about since I've been here this year that I would agree to do that on. I wouldn't agree to do that on regular art things, but security and safety for the town, whether they know it or not, is important. That's my point.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that at all.
I understand the
Not
principle.
even a fucking smidge.
Excuse me, time out.
Sorry, my apologies.
And I respect your position, I really do, Dan, and I understand the principle of it. If it wasn't,
The people that voted for you with the understanding and expectation that you would act on their behalf.
which is what we,
And to sit here and say that they probably won't vote it in, so you do just the opposite, is not acting on their behalf. That's acting unilaterally as a board. It is what we said.
Well, that's the financial side, that's not the operation side. The financial side, I agree with what you're saying, but the fact of the matter is, if you need the officer, both from, we're stretching our department too thin and we're.
we went up 75% to the high school.
Right, like, that's a different issue. You're saying, okay, that's just the cost of doing business if we need this person.
Yeah, but how do we, so Chief came in, gave us numbers. The numbers that are on the state don't reflect that. We didn't question that. I have here the goal sheet that he gave to me when I was on the select board. We didn't find out if any of those goals internally were met. So shouldn't we do a little due diligence to see if there's a different route we should take before we just add to everybody's taxes year over year over year? One of the things, I just spoke with Chief Porter today. And he said that yesterday, he had 5 calls that his officers had to go on for a dog. Out of those 5 calls, he estimated it took about 7 hours. 7 hours at $32 to $35 an hour. If we do that 2 to 3 times a week, it's half of that position. So if we did a little more exploratory research and we think about, well, we can hire an animal control officer that's a mutual town animal control officer between $7,500 and $9,000 a year. That does a couple things. It eliminates $111,622.40 on a yearly basis at a minimum, which is about a 2.3% tax increase, give or take, every year. But it also frees up an officer that's spending roughly 15 hours a week on animal calls alone. So now that officer has the boots back on the ground, so it alleviates some of the stress that the other 5 officers or 4 officers are having to deal with. Well, that guy's running around bringing dogs back and forth to the Humane Society. So there's got to be some other options that we can explore before we just say, okay, Chief comes in, says he needs another officer. I hear you, I trust you, fine. I hear Ryan and I trust Ryan as well, but that doesn't mean that there's not some other options that we can explore. We're at a time right here, we're taking tax anticipation notes to pay our bills. We have employees in this town that have had huge amounts of responsibility stacked on what they already do. No additional compensation. We're hiring new employees at a higher rate than employees that have worked here for decades are getting right now. How long before those guys leave, right? So some of the things that I think we need to think about is tweaking some of our internal components, which we know have been all over the map for a decade. So we're willing to sit here and talk about, we need to add this amount in because we haven't been able to track that for 10 years. We need to take this amount out because we haven't been able to track that for 10 years. But when it comes to adding this huge increase to everybody's taxes every year, we're like, well, all right, yes, we need it. Well, what about your mom that would say no? What about my 80-year-old mom that works on a fixed income? You and I, Bob, have the ability to go out and find another $100 every couple months. We can do that. But part of the reason that the officers in our town are so taxed out and so maxed out is because we have a very poor community and a very elderly community. So if you start adding more stress to that poor community and that elderly community, they're gonna get more taxed out. I just don't understand how it's so easy to just sit here when the numbers that the state reflects don't match Ryan's. We know there are things that his officers are doing that we can alleviate that and change it for something else. Why wouldn't we have that discussion instead of just rubber stamping it? And rubber stamping it off the fact that we don't think that the voters would go for it, so we should just vote on it here.
What I voted on was when he said losing 75% of an officer to the high school,
Right.
the bodies he has left, he can't keep for a whole week. He can't fill all the time slots without overtime because he's a body short. If he had the 75% of that guy here, he could probably do it, but without that, every one of his officers have to work overtime just to get through a week. That's what I based it on. What would my mom or your mom do if they were home and someone broke into the house, but there was no cop on duty? That's what I saw.
Right.
And when you said we were elected to serve the town, the townspeople, we just have different interpretations of what that word serve means. I think I'm acting in their best interest.
Mhm.
I'm right behind you as far as I don't want to add any new taxes. But a cop that we don't have enough bodies for, nothing for nothing. The cemetery's got a lot of work they have to do. Nobody's gonna die if a tree falls on the cemetery. Somebody's gonna die if there's no cop on duty when something goes down. That's the way I look at it. And I think the cemetery is important.
Sure.
I just don't think it's important as the police department. That's all.
All right, is there anybody else who wants to have any comment on this? Yeah, Michael, go ahead.
Just briefly, but, one of the things that Ryan expressed, and you, Bob, you just touched on it, would like for burnout or fatigue.
Yeah.
We are definitely susceptible to other towns poaching, an unhappy police officer that we have here. They said, I mean, he even told us Lebanon's paying $20,000 bounty. How, if one of our guys, men or women, if they're doing too much overtime and they don't have a family life and they say, well, piss on this, I'll go work in Lebanon for God's sake. That was one of my concerns. I voted yes also because I don't want to lose the guys we have.
So, right, retention of the officers we have is one of the things that we spoke about a lot when we hired Ryan.
Yeah.
And his solution for that was a 1 to 4 year goal and objective sheet that he gave the select board. And, right, exactly, right? So when I asked Chief Porter, and first of all, I don't want it to seem like I'm against having an officer, because I'm not necessarily against having an officer. I'm against the budget committee deciding that instead of the people that live in town who get off the couch to go to vote. That's what I'm against.
Well, again, there is the opportunity, you well know, Ian, that whatever is in the budget is something that is voted on by everybody in town. I mean, the budget itself is voted on as a warrant article, correct? Whatever is in it.
Right.
The people in the town have the opportunity to come to a deliberative session.
Sure.
Right, and ask questions and get information and do whatever they want so that they can make an informed decision about whether or not they want to vote for the budget, as well as all the other things that they have to vote on. Right, so it's up to the individuals to do that. Most people in this town do not either have the time or access to come and get the kind of information that we get when we're sitting here. People don't have the time to sit and go through the video of what happened.
Right.
Right, they just don't have the time. And so to your initial point about why they elect us because they have confidence in us. And we're gonna make the best decisions based on the information that we're given.
Sure.
And that's what we did here.
Sure.
Right,
But we are a town that gives our recommendation on the bottom of each warrant to circumvent the fact that we just take their option to vote away. So the reason.
We're not taking their option to vote away, but the option they have, we're not taking their option to vote away, Dan. I disagree with that.
All right, so let me
Whatever's in the
rephrase
budget,
it. They don't
whatever's
know
in the
what they're
budget,
voting on.
excuse me, whatever's in the budget is in the budget.
Right.
Right, and if they don't wanna take the time or energy to, go down the detailed lines of what is the $168, which they can't and they don't. That's why they rely on us to do that. And that's what we do. And when we sit here, look, not many votes are unanimous, right? I mean, just about everything that we do is, somebody knows, somebody yes, somebody, abstain. Right, it happens, and that's okay, and that's the process that we go through. But ultimately, we come to a point where either we accept what the budget number is, or we don't, right? So I think it's a fair process. I think it's, we go through it, and everybody has to vote their conscience on this, based on their skills and merits,
So what is the sense in having at the bottom of each warrant, whether the budget, who approves it, 7 approve, 2 no, select board, 3, 2 yes, 1 no? What's the sense of having that?
Because that tells the people that, that's what the budget committee or the select committee,
Okay, so that
Thought
gives
about
that gives the voters in town,
yes,
that is their avenue to know whether we approve it or not.
right, so.
Not circumventing
So
them
you
and
have,
just
it's
putting
not
it in.
circumventing, I'm sorry, I don't like the term circumventing, I don't think we're circumventing anything. I think we are deciding on what we want in the budget, or what we don't want in the budget at this committee. That's what we decide.
But that was based off the fact that we didn't think the voters would approve.
That was one consideration maybe, yes,
So it's part of the discussion,
It was
but it
part of
wasn't
the
the
discussion.
wasn't the only reason.
but that wasn't the only reason.
And there was a vote.
And there was a vote.
And I moved the budget, this part of the thing, so if someone decided to vote the negative, then you take it to the select board. You bring it up at a place where they can have some oversight.
Understood? I'm good.
Anybody else got any other business? Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
second. Favor?
All right.
Opposed? Abstained? Too early, too early for your mind.
You needed another 2 hours.